Hey everybody, I want to continue our conversation about APA. Remembering a few things. Our title page we're good. We repeat our title here. We've got our introduction that doesn't need a label, but we do need to say, therefore, the purpose of this paper is to. We need our purpose statement there. Our heading should be level 1 headings throughout. Every criteria that you have to meet in that rubric and those guidelines should be a level 1 header. And then underneath it, talk about it. If you want to break that level 1 information into smaller pieces, you can. You go to the next criteria, it's another level 1 heading. The next criteria is another level 1 heading. Go all the way through it to conclusion, it's a level 1 heading. The level 1 heading for conclusion should be a centered and bold, no new information, summarize what you got, right? References is here, and we also have a weird little alignment issue. I'm going to see there, all this ought to be 0. I'm going to take this that says references because it needs a reference, always should start on a separate page. And so to do that, we have to go over here to insert a page break. Now it's on the next page. We put our numbers in, remember when we did that? And this needs to be centered and bold, upper and lower case, and there it is. Okay, so that's it. And it should say references. It shouldn't say works, works cited, literature review, nothing. It should say references. Everything on this reference list should be cited somewhere in your paper. Okay, everything cited in your paper should be on this reference list. Got it? So, how do we do this? We start, it looks like, yep, there's a little something weird here. Oh, you know what? This is centered. This is what I mean. We don't want it centered. We want left aligned. There we go. The easy fix, right? If you center align, see all the space it puts in? That's wrong. We need left aligned, jagged margin on this side. All right. All right. And we typically don't have, that's weird. We don't do hyphens. So now, what do we need to do? Well, for starters, we need to use a hanging indent. We aren't going to indent the first line, but we are going to indent all the others. And we do that here in paragraph and special and hanging. And I'm double checking 0, 0, double. Everything's good. All right. So now we've got our hanging indents, but these are not formatted correctly, right? So your reference should be here, double spaced, hanging indent. What's wrong with this one? Well, number one, it's outdated. It's all in caps, right? We don't do that. It should be the same font as the rest of your paper. This is a different font. This is a different font. This is a different font. So the first thing we need to do is to change these fonts to the rest of our paper, which I think we had Times Roman 12 point. And we want to turn off any bold. There we go. So we've got Times Roman, and we've got double spaced, hanging indent. Now we've got to fix these because they are messed up. And there are errors. Number one, we should have the author's last name and then their first initial. And so Elias should be, oh, it's got some weird formatting here. I don't know. It's just going to get me. Let's see. I don't want small caps. There we go. See how easy that was? Now this was Elias, I believe. E-L-I-A up. There's bold in there that shouldn't be. Little trapped fonts and formatting. And we lost our times and our 12. We'll have to do that. Now I'm thinking his name must be his first name. So I'm going to remove all of that. And I don't even need the second initial. So the next author is Jones, first initial C. Always between the last two authors. If it's 2, if it's 3, if it's 10, between the last two, you put the ampersand. Okay? And there they are, 3 authors. List up to 20 authors. Do not use et al. In the reference list. Did you hear that? Do not use et al. In the reference list. Now, remember how the title was in title case? Well, the title of articles should be in sentence case. And what that means is we don't start every word with a cap. So a lot of times people say this is APA and it's not because they did all these weird caps and stuff. So this after the colon will be capped, but then the rest of it won't. Now, this is the title of the journal and the volume number. How do we know that? By where it is, by location. They should be italicized all the time. Okay? So it can be upper and lower case, but italicized. This is the journal title. The volume, the issue, and the page range. There's only one page of information. It's probably not what you need to be using. A research article probably couldn't be done in one page, right? And then the only other thing you need is a DOI number, and that's there. And a lot of times the DOI number isn't included, and usually you can click on the article and find that DOI number. So here's the next one. What's wrong with this one? Yeah, what's his initial? I do not know, and I'm not going to look it up, but we'll say it's J. Also outdated, by the way. Here's the title. The title has to be what? Not title case, but sentence case. So we're just going to fix that right quick. And then the journal is done in title case. The Journal of the American Medical Association, volume, issue, and page number, and DOI number. Now I'm going to take this just like I did above. Maybe, maybe not. My computer will participate. And I'm going to italicize. Italicize the journal title. Not the article title, but the journal title. Here is McMahon and Dalpan. There's his initial, but poor McMahon, who probably did most of the work, his initial is missing, and his first name was Yolof. So I'm going to put it on here. Let's do Y and a period. And the second guy. Okay, here again. These are not right. We got to do sentence case. So what I'm going to tell you is it helps a lot to copy the supposed APA, but you are going to have to make some little corrections to make it right. That's what you're seeing here. Okay. Now, looks like the journal title was correct. There it all is. Here's your DOI number. Okay. Let's look at this one. There's a lot of guys here. And what is it about leaving off their initials? Whoops. Period, comma, and put a comma, put a period after the date. All of this needs to be lowercase. So you're getting the message, right? And then there, I'm not going to keep going, but that's the way we do this. Now, all of these are outdated except for 2. So that is significant, right? And they should line up. I may have some weird little formatting in there still. Maybe not. All right. That's how you do hanging indent. That's a correct way to do a reference. I'm going to show you one more thing. And that is right here, maybe. These will be in your files. But this is showing you how to do all of these references. You see them? If it's a book, here's the author's last name, initial, just like always. There's the year, period, just like always. The title of the book, just like the journal, is a book. And so we do italicize the title of the book. And then the publisher is the American Psychological Association. In this case, it has a DOI number. Not all of them do. You can leave it off. If you're looking at a chapter in a book, the book was edited by somebody else, the chapter was written by somebody different. Then we have to do this one. And so Hendrick and Hendrick wrote the chapter, and the chapter was Measuring Love. It is in the book by Gallagher and Lopez, and they're the editors. See that? And here's the title of the book. And these are the page numbers involved in that chapter. And here's the publisher, and there's your DOI again. Making sense? I would say come to this and find, when you're going to do something, come and find it here. Here is a single author in a journal. All right, here's the author. Here's the date. Here's the title of the article, title of the journal italicized, volume italicized, issue, page numbers, and DOI. Boom. That's it. Up to 20 authors ought to be listed. When you've listed that many and there are more, then we add and so let's say that we've added 20, and this is south will be 20 and there's more. So what we would do here is these ellipses, and that means there's more, and then we put the last one. Okay. So I'm going to delete that because that's not what we're doing right now. So again, your title, your journal, volume, issue, page numbers, everything. We can't change the way these are listed. And when we say that they should be listed alphabetically in your reference list, but we can't put Brand before Simmons because Simmons did all the work to be first author. We leave the authors in this order, but Simmons should come before South in your list, right? I hope that makes sense. All right. So we've got 2 authors. We list them both with the and. We've got more than that, up to 20 we're going to list with the and between the last 2. Now, there are 2 different ways to cite in the narrative. Remember, you've got to cite. And listen, don't be afraid to cite. You can never cite too much. You may not cite enough, and you'll get dinged for using a source that definitely you've got information that came from somewhere. It wasn't just in your head, but you didn't give credit for it. And in that case, then you're going to need to cite it. You make sure you're citing it. You may cite every other sentence in a paragraph, but you're better to cite too much than not enough. So you can use it in your sentence. Afrill and South state that nurses are great. Use the date. You've got their last names and their date. You may also do it without using their names in the sentence. Nurses are wonderful people. And in that case, the author's last name and the date all go in the parentheses because they're not part of the sentence. And then if it's a quote, which you see here, and now if it's the same article with Afrill and South, this would need to say and South. Okay. And I've got it in quotes. Nurses are great and wonderful people. Afrill and South 2020. But you need to put a page or a paragraph number. Well, what does Chamberlain say about quoting? Don't do it. You can have one small quote per paper. You shouldn't have more than that. If you've got a whole bunch of quotes, then you're not telling me you understand anything. You're just stringing together, copy and pasted somebody else's thoughts, and that won't work. I need to know that you have read it, that you have understood it, that you have put it in your own words. Now, you still need to credit the source, but it needs to be in your own words. So give credit, but put it in your words. Okay? So one author, you would use South, states that, or whatever it is, nurses are wonderful people, and then in parentheses, if it's 2, we put them both. We use the and, the little ampersand in parentheses. We don't use it in the sentence. So we're using the names in the sentence, spell it out. In parentheses, don't. Et al. Means there's more than 2 authors. The first author gets on here, the rest of them don't. Okay, South et al. State that nurses are great. Or nurses are great, and then South et al. In parentheses. Don't use it in the reference list, only in the in-text citations. Et al. Okay, I think that's it. All right, thanks for listening.